Los Angeles Football Chargers, John. Anthony Lynn has been very clear that Justin Herbert is his backup. He even called him the backup, even though we don't know that Tyrod Taylor is starting this week. Why does Anthony Lynn hate Justin Herbert? Do you even think he hates Justin Herbert?
Hate would be a strong word, but I think he is trying to tell the media and all the fans and basically every person that watched that game, because it was Nance and Romo, it was the national game, he's not that good. And I know you guys saw a couple explosive throws, almost trying to say he doesn't know the offense, couldn't get us into checks. Tyrod's my guy. My issue with Anthony Lynn is I think he's too close to the forest to see the trees, guy. Someone told me who around that team that Anthony Lynn views Tyrod Taylor like as much as a player, like as a son. He was around him in Buffalo. He loves Tyrod Taylor. For years with Phillip Rivers, there were always some rumblings like they think Tyrod Taylor might be better. And even bad Rivers games, people would be like, shut up. This is so stupid. And then it was like, okay, you finally got your wish. Week 1, you're playing the fucking Bengals. Like, I was like, should I throw some money on this? The Chargers, they're way better than the Bengals. And guy, I look up about late third, early fourth quarter of that game. It was 13-10. I'm like, what is going? Tyrod, you can't tell me, make any excuse. I don't even need to go back and watch that game. Your quarterback can't be that good if you struggle to beat Joe Burrow in his debut when they're not even scoring points. Like, I'm putting that on Tyrod Taylor. I saw Justin Herbert. What are we doing, guy?
I think what's interesting is if he plays this week, who do they play? They play the Panthers. The Panthers are not viewed as a very good football team. And on one hand, I go, well, this would be the perfect place for Herbert to start. If you're pro-Tyrod, you'd say this is the perfect game for Tyrod to start. But what if Tyrod starts and they don't look explosive against the Panthers? Maybe then it becomes undeniable if they don't look explosive against the Bengals and then with Tyrod and the Panthers?
Well, part of it, right, was he had some pec issue. He took the Tortorol shot, body reaction, super pain, had to go to the hospital. I do think if this persists throughout the week, that Justin Herbert plays well again, he won't even be able to talk. His best case for his argument would be Tyrod Taylor coming back, playing well, and then he can just shut everyone up for a minute.
All right, 2 minutes. You're up.
Okay, guy. On Sunday Night Football, Chris Collinsworth, because there was a story Russ Wilson has never received a MVP vote. Chris Collinsworth said, well, I screwed up a couple years ago. I turned in my vote late. They revoked my vote. And in 2019, he's like, PFF, the company I own, voted Russell Wilson the MVP. So in turn, I would have voted, I guess PFF just vote for Chris Collinsworth, would have voted Russell Wilson the MVP. But overall, Russell Wilson's never received a vote. Unlike basketball or baseball, there's not a tier system. You just vote for one guy. Do you think 2020 is the first year that Russell Wilson finally receives a vote?
I think it's the first year he receives a vote. I think he wins the MVP this year. I think we are on our way to Russell Wilson's first MVP vote being enough votes for him to win the MVP. He went for 322 yards against Atlanta, threw for 288, but an incredible shootout. John, he's got 9 touchdown passes through 2 games. I've been listening to some other football podcasts. The internet thinks that it's all because of them that Pete Carroll is throwing the football now. Whatever. I heard Kevin Clark make a good point, though. He's like, Pete's getting a little older. Maybe he's going for it. Again, maybe. I don't know. Russell looks incredible. 9 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's carrying this team. They might be the best team in the NFC. We'll see. Here's the thing why I feel pretty confident betting on Russ 2 weeks in, because I've seen this guy. He's an all-time great. We all know he's an all-time great. And I wonder if people now are a little more cognizant of this is an MVP level player. Let's make sure he gets his due. He went on the MegaCast wearing his Russell branded hat, his Russell branded shirt. He's out there branding Russell. I thought it was great that he went on Monday Night Football on ESPN, just getting himself even more out there. That not that he needs it. So yeah, man, I can't believe they took Collinsworth's vote though. That's cold blooded.
Can I push back also on the internet thinking they're responsible for let Russ cook?
Yeah.
I think a big reason Russ is really cooking is they've added DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Who had I think 7 touchdowns last year. He had a touchdown week 1, touchdown week 2. I think it's safe to say he's headed for a double-digit touchdown season. That has to be a factor, right? Drafting DK Metcalf.
Well, when they drafted him, it showed this is what we want to do with Russ.
Yeah.
All right, John. Back to you. A man that once broke your heart by going bald and becoming part of the Brotherhood and then reversing course and willing his brain to grow hair. Jason Witten made a catch on Monday Night Football, and I said to you after the game, it is unacceptable. Anytime Jason Witten makes a play on Monday Night Football, hell, he doesn't have to make a play. When he's on the field, it should be acknowledged. This is Monday Night Football's Jason Witten. Will we ever see anything like this again? And should they acknowledge Jason Witten on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I don't think it's humanly possible for them to get into a situation where a guy retires, definitely not at another position. Maybe quarterback, right? Remember there were rumblings about Tony Romo. You had told me the story, like the Ringer did some article about Andy Reid once begged Troy Aikman after Donovan McNabb, like punctured a spleen, like come out of retirement. And Troy even like slept on it.
He did.
Like it's to me as a position player, like Jason Witten didn't just retire. He was the Monday night analyst. Monday Night Football. Not like Jonathan Vilma, the worst game on Fox. Monday Night fucking Football. Now, he was getting eviscerated. He claimed he didn't really read it. I do think it's somewhat hard to avoid, but still, I hold Jason Witten in poor. Just I was always offended by the bald thing because then after he got out of TV, he just shaved his head like me. But I don't think it's possible because I think most times it's going to be an older guy. It's just we will never ever see that again. And you're right, they don't even mention it. Like, hey, Lewis and Greasy, this guy used to sit here. Now,
right
part
here.
of it is
he wore that headset.
Is the play-by-play guy changed? So
That's
that
true, but still, he wore that headset. Probably has a piece of tape underneath the piece that says Rick, that says Witten on it. That they just put it on the table so everyone knows. I got this from. Thank you for making the clarification. I guess he didn't shave it before he got the fake hair. He put the toupee. Really thinning hair. Then was it toupee? Had to be toupee, not plugs, right? You don't go the pain of plugs and then just buzz it or bick it. But in any event,
he immediately shaved once he got to Dallas. It was like, God, Jason.
Right.
What you could have done for our kind.
Next up.
Okay, guy. Bryson DeChambeau won the U.S. Open. He's obviously now won, I think he's like one of three guys to win the U.S. Open, the U.S. Amateur, and the NCAA championship. Like, he's in rare category.
The other two, I don't know their names, but haven't heard of them before.
Yeah, Tiger and Jack. I think he's just going to go down. I think it's fair to say potentially he's an all-time great. But he's a very polarizing player. Something he's taking some criticism for is when he gave his press conference, he immediately went in to like this just open season on his sponsors, starting by thanking Bentley. Is it okay as a golfer to start, not your parents, not your teacher, not the golf course, thanking your sponsors?
Absolutely. Because I told you, and I texted you this when I saw it. Immediately afterwards, he went to the big screen. His family was there, his dad, his mom, a bunch of other people. And
his dad, right?
John
knew his dad.
I texted him a while back. I texted his coach, Mike Shy, yesterday. His dad used to do. Yeah, his
Mike
dad.
Shy,
No. His dad, John, is bald. Mike, you don't actually see Mike usually. He wasn't at that event. You don't usually see him on the range. One of his coaches maybe, but his original coach, like the single length clubs, the everything Bryson since Bryson was a kid, Mike Shy. And Mike Shy and John DeChambeau used to do a radio show, a weekly golf show on the station that I worked at in Fresno, and I got to know them. Both really enjoyable guys, high-level guys. Mike Watney, Nick's uncle, actually gave a kidney to John DeChambeau. Incredible health story a few years ago, so it's nuts. Anyway, I've always just, rooted for Bryson. I know you have, just big picture, knowing kind of the background with him. Clearly, you cannot get this good without working your fucking ass off. And he's done it. He's done it. And it is undeniable. I do wonder a little bit now, maybe everyone's going to go protein shake, everyone's going to do the math. Is there something about this guy? Like we said, before he did any of this, he won an NCAA championship and a U.S. amateur. I don't know what that
before
list
he ever
is.
got big.
Before he ever got big. I wonder if we're looking at kind of Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Russ Wilson. Like, we're just going to find a bunch of versatile runners who can also throw. My guess is most guys who get swole don't keep hitting their wedges as well as he does. They don't putt as well as he does. They don't think like he does. They don't compete like he does. They don't work like he does. Maybe he's going to revolutionize the game to some degree, but it's like, Tiger, everybody got fit, but none of them were Tiger until Brooks Koepka came along, and even he got hurt a lot sooner than Tiger did. So
Yeah.
I think Bryson, I mean, this is not a controversial take. He's so good for the game. Let him be him. Let him thank Bentley. This is what you're asking. I got no problem with him thanking Bentley. I watched him spend 8 minutes. It's kind of awkward. You got everyone around you. He had a really touching moment with his family. So he gave them their due. Bentley deserves their due too. Bentley pays the rent, John. Bentley pays the mortgage.
I know this is a 2-minute drill, but God, I love this topic.
Yeah.
Do you think that it will hurt his stock within his sport? That it feels like every player on tour does not like him, like he does not have friends, like
but
they
it doesn't
do not
feel
like him.
Patrick. Like, you know who seems to like him is Tiger.
Yeah, Phil likes him too, but they're way older. Like they're not going to be around as much.
But it doesn't feel like some guys just are kind of put off by his stuff. Like Patrick Reed, it feels like people hate Patrick Reed.
Yeah.
Right. I think Bryson, people just kind of put off with the whole being different thing. Which
the
is
difference
different.
is this guy's better probably than Patrick Reed. I mean,
he's like, who cares? His thing is like,
yeah.
Tiger likes me and I win, so I got my family.
This guy can shit out of everyone for the next 5 years.
I talked to him at Eastlake a couple years ago. He was so enjoyable. I mean, it was just easy to talk to. Like, that's the thing. I know you said you saw him talk to Riggs. Like, he's not some. Now, Patrick Reed did too, but I don't know. I enjoy listening.
Branding.
I enjoy listening to him talk.
I feel you.
Last one. We don't even have to go 2 minutes. Deion Sanders is already getting into it with the media, John. He had a press conference. Somebody tweeted, a reporter, that his staff has T.O. and Warren Sapp on it. He tweeted, "This is not true. You're getting off on the wrong foot with me." Calling out the bullshit immediately. He's not going to do the Gruden thing, wait 3 months, and then tell everybody he had COVID and it was not a fake like everybody said. He called it out right away. Could you have a staff? Will he have a staff with T.O. and Warren Sapp?
I'll be honest, guy, at this point. If Warren Sapp and Terrell Owens, not one of the two of them, if both of them are not on his staff, I will be very disappointed. Because it's one thing to read a fake news tweet. Shit happens all the time, right? We get lied to on Twitter all the time. That one, though, I think every human believed, like, oh, my God, we believed it. Deion Sanders landed Warren Sapp. I followed Deion on Instagram. Warren Sapp was at his house on Sunday watching NFL football. Like,
so it might be true.
Yeah, but Terrell Owens, if he has both those two guys, I mean, is Jackson State getting some sweet TV games? Like, they're getting some love.
They're getting some good players. I know that.
Yeah, I'll be more Terrell Owens on the sideline with Deion would be pretty explosive.
Don't you think Warren? I mean, it's hard. I start thinking that, and then I think, well, I think Warren would be incredible.
I think they'd both be really good.
This is what I would ask is if those guys are on staff, they still have to go on like whatever the ESPN morning show is.
Well,
like T.O.
would
used
you
to
do
go on all the time?
Would you do Amazon Prime Jackson State if you're Deion?
Jim Thornby just tweeted that at me. Like, didn't he do Hard Knocks on this team?
Yeah, I think, Guy, I hope Terrell Owens is on his staff. I hope Terrell Owens more than Warren Sapp. I want T.O.
I want them both.